Should we be worried about the Captain Marvel box office opening weekend numbers? Hello everyone, I am the Oscar-nominated a-hole and the a-hole who is sometimes a troll, and today we are talking about the Captain Marvel opening weekend box office, and my, how it took everyone by storm. Not really. A lot of people who were very against Captain Marvel knew basically from the projections, yes, we wanted it to go below 100 million, but we figured it was going to be a pretty good weekend. It is the opening of it, and so I wanted to give a couple facts, and these are facts of why Captain Marvel did so well this weekend and why we shouldn't be flipping out about it until we get the second weekend projections. So the first thing off is the fact that Captain Marvel comes off of Avengers Infinity War and is literally a month before Avengers Endgame. And so everyone who is super hyped for that movie, which everyone obviously is because of the amazing Infinity War that we got, everyone is excited and ready to see what we get in Endgame. So, obviously, people who are the general going audience want to see this movie. On top of that, people probably didn't go online and watch reviews from people. Obviously, a lot of people probably didn't go and look up what was going on with Rotten Tomatoes. People aren't really that well versed into this type of stuff. And therefore, they went based solely on the fact that MCU has had a very good track record. And that Endgame's coming up, and they wanted to see if there was anything attached to it. But the second weekend box office is always affected by word of mouth, and because of the fact that a lot of people are saying that this movie's just it's not worth the $20 or so to go see it. It's better just to save your money and maybe go see it for free, because honestly, there's nothing really tied to Endgame, and it's not that great of a film. Then obviously, I think the second weekend box office will not be even as close. Now, if you want to know about the box office, anything below 50% is thought of as fantastic. If you lose less than half of your returns or what you got in the first weekend, that's a very good thing. I believe Infinity War did that, and I think Jumanji did that. While like The Last Jedi, obviously Solo, a Star Wars story, and hopefully Captain Marvel will be above 50%. And if you go to 60% or higher in your box office drop, it's a very bad sign. Also for people who were like, oh my god, it got over $150 million opening weekend, relax. Solo, a Star Wars story actually made over $100 million. I believe it almost made $120 million, and we all know that that movie lost a lot of money. Now, I'm not advocating and saying that Captain Marvel will lose money, but I will say this, in that Captain Marvel has been pushing their marketing extremely hard for this film. More so than most movies, so you have to take into account that. There is no production cost that has been released yet, an official one. They don't usually release that until weeks later, so we won't know until probably after the run of the box office entirely. I don't think they released solos I don't even know if they did release solos, but it'd be interesting to know. And if they did, it was a lot later. Than the first weekend or second weekend or third weekend. So that will definitely take some time. Then you also got to imagine they did do a lot of reshoots after the first screening of it, because of what people said about the trailer. They immediately went in and did reshoots of Captain Marvel, so you have to take into account for that. And then you have to take into account that they only get 60% of ticket sales, not the full 100%. So yes, it made $150 million, but they only, or over $150 million, but they only get 60% of that. So a little more than half. So yes, it made, oh my god, say it was $150 million. That would mean that they would have, roughly $75 million. If that was half, so maybe $85 million total that they actually got, that the theaters didn't take away, as well as taxes and such and so forth. So yes, 150 million is still really good, but you have to take into all this into account. Lastly, another fact about the box office opening that we shouldn't take too much into account, for the reason why it did so well, was also because it was the first led female superhero film, and a lot of people who do not know about the scandal or anything, they just hear that, they immediately probably thought, wow, the first female movie that was made by DC that was a woman was really good, Wonder Woman, and Marvel has been better than DC, so surely this movie will be better than Wonder Woman. So that's probably what a lot of the general audience thought, or those who really are Marvelites and are against DC probably went out to support this movie more so than Wonder Woman, because they were like, we want this one to be better than Wonder Woman, even though it's quite obvious that the quality is not there when compared to Wonder Woman, which is pretty sad. Just a subjective opinion, even though it's more objective than subjective, but you know, it's whatever. You do you. So, I think that we'll just have to hold on to our seatbelts and see what's going to happen with Captain Marvel in the second weekend box office, because honestly, we kind of knew the first weekend was going to be pretty good, pretty standard for a normal Marvel film. So, if you want it to fail, or if you don't want it to make as much money, do not fret. I highly, highly, highly doubt that it's going to fail, but at the same time, I highly doubt it's not going to massively succeed. I think that they're going to definitely realize, and hopefully the second weekend will prove it, that these people aren't coming back to rewatch it over and over again like they did for other movies and within the MCU. But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see, because currently, from what I've been watching online, the word of mouth is not very positive. I've seen films that say, movie reviewers that I personally subscribe to, who say that the film is not the worst, but not the best, while other ones say it's the worst movie in the MCU. I would say it's the worst movie in the MCU, basically just because of all the tarnished state that it has gone through with regards to the corrupt nature of the environment with which it was built, with Brie Larson and the third wave feminazi movement surrounding it. Which sucks, because people were basically like, if it wasn't for that, they would just go to this movie and be like, oh, it was a Marvel movie. And that would basically be it. So it has nothing to really, I don't think it really has to do anything with the film itself. It's just the air, the atmosphere around it. Although everyone's saying, who has seen the movie, that it's just a boring, dumb movie and it's not worth your money. So I'll take their word for it. They have seen it after all. So anyways, tell me what you guys and gals think down in the comment section below about this. Please like the video and do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and become an official a-hole yourself. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic rest of your day.